just like to express this one thing. All these girls be like, you know, thank you to my man. And I want to say, to my hands, thank you to my hands. To my hands, thank you to my hands. Listen, for me knowing how to fight and me training hard, I make millions of dollars just from beating people up. So, to my hands, thank you to my hands. To my hands, thank you to my hands.
The internet went into meltdown when emotions, silence, and speculation collided at the same time. Fans were left stunned after Claressa Shields appeared visibly emotional, while online rumors claimed Papoose had gone back to Remy Ma. No confirmations, no public statements, just tears, quiet posts, and timelines filled with theories. Was Claressa reacting to a personal situation, or did social media turn coincidence into controversy? Screenshots spread, old clips resurfaced, and fans began connecting dots faster than facts could catch up. Some say emotions don't lie. Others say the internet creates stories out of silence. One thing is certain, once this narrative hit social media, it stopped being private. Stay tuned, because what looks like a simple rumor may be a perfect example of how fast perception becomes reality online. The moment fans noticed a shift in Claressa Shields, the conversation took on a life of its own. Claressa has always been known for control of the ring, of her voice, of her image. She speaks with confidence and purpose, often reminding audiences that discipline and self-belief are non-negotiable. That is why her recent emotional appearance felt different. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, reflective, and heavy, and the internet noticed immediately. The clip that
Talk to my man like a king. Don't ever get it messed up, baby. I may have the muscles and I may know how to fight, but I'm very submissive to my man because my man's a good man. And, you know, he takes very good care of me. So
circulated did not include accusations or names. Instead, it captured a pause, a change in tone, and a few carefully chosen words about disappointment and trust. In a digital culture that thrives on certainty, ambiguity becomes fuel. Viewers leaned in, replayed the moment, and searched for meaning between the lines. Some saw vulnerability, others sensed frustration. Many felt they were watching a champion process something deeply personal in real time. As the clip spread, timing became everything. Around the same period, online chatter began resurfacing about Papoose and Remy Ma, not through official statements, but through appearances, reposts, and the natural rhythm of social media visibility. The internet did what it does best. It connected dots. Whether those dots were related or not became secondary to how quickly a narrative formed. Claressa's emotional moment was then reframed by timelines and captions. What began as concern turned into theory. Theory turned into assumption. Assumption turned into conviction for some viewers. Comments filled with phrases like "you can see the hurt and this explains everything," even though nothing had been explained. Emotional content travels faster than context, and once momentum builds, it is hard to slow. Support poured in as well. Many fans reminded others that public figures are allowed to feel without owing explanations. They pointed out that Claressa has always been transparent about the mental toll of high expectations. To them, her emotion was not evidence of a specific event, but a reminder that pressure accumulates. Championships do not make someone immune to disappointment. Still, the internet pressed forward.
I lose, you know, so I wanted to box, and I know how to fight a little bit already too. Like, I always had heart.
And this is
the least income making person that I've ever been with. Ever. Everybody included.
Old interviews were revisited. Past interactions were reposted. Neutral moments were reinterpreted through a new lens. A smile from months ago now looked like a hint. A lack of comment now felt intentional. None of this came from Claressa directly, yet it surrounded her image everywhere online. What intensified the reaction was Claressa's response, or lack of one. She did not jump online to clarify. She did not deny rumors or confirm timelines. She continued posting about training, focus, and growth. For some, that restraint signaled strength. For others, it felt like avoidance. In reality, it may have been neither, but perception filled the gap. There is also the human element that social media often ignores. Emotional moments rarely exist in isolation. They are influenced by stress, exhaustion, expectations, and private realities the public never sees. Claressa has carried immense responsibility as a trailblazer in her sport. Every word she says is analyzed. Every emotion becomes content. That weight can show even without a specific trigger. As debates continued, a pattern emerged. People were not just discussing Claressa, they were discussing themselves through her. Viewers shared stories of feeling sidelined, of watching someone move on, of learning things indirectly through the internet. Her emotion became a mirror for collective experience, which is why the story resonated so strongly. Importantly, no verified source confirmed a direct connection between Claressa's emotions and the rumors circulating online. Yet the proximity and timing was enough for speculation to dominate conversation. Algorithms amplified the loudest takes, not the most careful ones. Videos with certainty performed better than posts urging patience. By the end of this phase, Claressa Shields stood at the center of a story she did not clearly define but undeniably influenced. Her vulnerability, real and human, sparked a wave of interpretation that extended far beyond her words. Whether the internet was connecting real dots or creating patterns out of coincidence remained unclear. What was clear, however, was this: once emotion meets timing and social media, control shifts. The narrative no longer belongs to the person who felt it first. And for Claressa, that meant becoming the emotional anchor of a conversation that was only just beginning. As the internet continued dissecting Claressa Shields' emotional moment, attention slowly but inevitably shifted toward one person: Papoose. Not because he made an announcement, not because he addressed rumors, but because of timing, optics, and the powerful expectations attached to his public image. In the world of social media, perception often matters more than intention, and Papoose became a central figure in a story he never publicly commented on. Papoose has spent years building a reputation rooted in loyalty, stability, and principle. Fans often describe him as grounded, disciplined, and respectful, someone who avoids unnecessary drama and values privacy. That reputation is exactly why his silence drew so much attention. When speculations surfaced online suggesting he had gone back to Remy, fans began interpreting every appearance, repost, and moment of visibility as confirmation, even without facts. The issue was not what Papoose did publicly, it was how the internet interpreted what it saw. A public appearance here, a shared space there, normal life moments were reframed as narrative clues. Social media thrives on visual evidence, and once a storyline is in motion, even neutral images become loaded with meaning. To some viewers, the optics felt intentional. To others, they felt coincidental. But once perception sets in, reality struggles to catch up. What made this situation especially complex was Papoose's long-standing image as a man who stands firmly by his decisions. Fans expect clarity from people they admire. They expect consistency. So when no statement came, no clarification, and no denial, silence began to speak for him. Some interpreted that silence as confirmation. Others saw it as maturity. The divide grew wider with each passing day. Supporters argued that Papoose owed no one an explanation. They emphasized that private decisions do not require public approval. In their view, addressing rumors would only validate them. Silence, they argued, was the smartest response in an era where every word can be twisted. These voices framed restraint as strength. On the opposite side, some fans felt the silence intensified confusion. They argued that public figures benefit from public attention, and therefore carry some responsibility when narratives spiral. For them, a simple clarification could have ended speculation. The lack of one allowed assumptions to harden into beliefs. This group did not accuse him of wrongdoing, they questioned the impact of inaction. Content creators capitalized quickly. Videos analyzing body language, timeline alignment, and energy shifts gained traction. Old interviews were clipped and recontextualized. Quotes about loyalty were replayed with dramatic music. None of this content introduced new facts, but it created emotional momentum. Engagement grew because certainty sells better than uncertainty. What often got lost in the noise was the reality that Papoose never inserted himself into the conversation. He did not fan the flames, he did not redirect attention. The narrative evolved without his participation. Yet paradoxically, he became more central as speculation grew. This is one of social media's contradictions. Absence can amplify presence. The situation also highlighted how public images can become cages. Papoose's reputation for loyalty meant fans projected expectations onto him. When reality did not match those expectations, or when reality was simply unknown, disappointment followed. The audience wasn't reacting to facts, they were reacting to an imagined standard they believed he should meet. As days passed, fatigue began to appear in comment sections. Some users called for the story to end. Others doubled down, convinced they were witnessing something unfold in real time. The same silence that initially sparked curiosity now fueled division. Silence became a Rorschach test. People saw what they wanted to see. Importantly, there was still no confirmed connection between Papoose's personal life and Claressa Shields' emotional moment. Yet proximity and timing kept the theory alive. The internet often confuses correlation with causation, especially when emotions are involved. In this case, timing became the strongest evidence, even though timing alone proves nothing. By the end of this phase, Papoose represented more than a rumored decision. He symbolized how quickly optics can override reality and how silence, intentional or not, can reshape a narrative. Whether his choice to stay quiet was strategic, personal, or unrelated, it demonstrated a hard truth about digital culture. Once a story forms online, opting out rarely removes you from it. As speculation around Claressa Shields and Papoose continued to dominate timelines, the spotlight naturally shifted to the final piece of the triangle, Remy Ma. Unlike viral clips or emotional posts, Remy's role in the narrative was shaped almost entirely by perception. What she did not say, what she did not address, and how she moved publicly all became ingredients in a story the internet was determined to finish on its own. Remy Ma is no stranger to public scrutiny. Her career has been defined by resilience, controversy, redemption, and strength. Fans respect her honesty and her refusal to soften herself for public approval. Because of this, many people expected clarity from her once her name began trending alongside rumors involving Papoose. When that clarity did not come, speculation intensified. Social media users began tracking her movements closely. Appearances at events, reposts, and even casual photos were analyzed for hidden meaning. Ordinary moments were reframed as signals. A calm demeanor was seen by some as confidence, by others as strategy. The lack of a statement allowed every interpretation to coexist at once. What complicated things further was Remy's established public image. She is often viewed as someone who speaks when necessary and stays silent when something does not deserve energy. That pattern made it difficult for audiences to decide how to read her behavior. Was her silence intentional restraint, or was it confirmation that something had changed? The internet rarely agrees on answers, but it rarely stops asking questions either. Supporters of Remy Ma were quick to push back against the growing narrative. They argued that she was being unfairly pulled into a situation built on assumptions. Many pointed out that women are often expected to emotionally explain situations they did not publicly create. From this perspective, Remy's silence was an act of self-preservation, not avoidance. Others felt differently. Some viewers believed that when rumors reach a certain scale, silence can feel dismissive to those emotionally involved. They framed their reactions around empathy rather than accusation. For them, the issue was not blame, but communication. This divide highlighted how audiences project their own values onto public figures. Content creators played a major role in shaping how Remy was perceived. Videos analyzing energy, body language, and public positioning gained traction. Past interviews were replayed with new captions. Quotes taken out of context were reframed to fit current speculation. None of this introduced new facts, but it reinforced a narrative loop that was difficult to break. Remy Ma continued moving forward publicly without addressing the noise. That choice became part of the story itself. Some admired her focus. Others felt it added fuel to speculation. In the digital age, doing nothing can be just as impactful as doing something. The situation also revealed how intertwined public relationships and audience expectations have become. Fans often feel invested in narratives they have followed for years. When those narratives shift or appear to emotions run high. In Remy's case, the internet reacted not to confirmed actions but to the possibility of change. Importantly, no verified information confirmed the assumptions circulating online. Yet repetition gave them weight. The more a theory appeared, the more legitimate it felt to casual viewers encountering it for the first time. This is how online stories gain credibility without evidence. As days passed, the intensity slowly stabilized. New topics trended, attention shifted, but impressions remained. For many viewers, Remy Ma became a symbol of composure under pressure. For others, she represented unanswered questions. Both interpretations existed simultaneously, shaped entirely by perspective. By the end of this phase, it was clear that Remy Ma's role in the narrative was less about action and more about projection. the internet filled the gaps left by silence with its own assumptions, values, and emotions. Whether fair or not, those assumptions became part of the story. And with all three figures now firmly embedded in public discussion, only one element remained to be examined: the role of social media itself and how it turns moments into movements. By the time Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy were all being discussed in the same breath, the situation had fully transformed. It was no longer just about emotions, timing, or silence. It had become a clear example of how social media takes incomplete information and builds a complete story around it. At this stage, the internet itself became the main character. Social media does not wait for facts, it reacts to moments. A clip that lasts seconds can generate weeks of debate. In this case, Claressa's emotional appearance acted as the trigger, but platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram amplified it beyond its original context. Each platform played a different role. Twitter became the courtroom. TikTok became the documentary. Instagram became the emotional highlight reel. Algorithms fueled the fire. Content that suggested betrayal, heartbreak, or hidden drama traveled faster than cautious analysis. Videos with confident claims gained more traction than those asking questions. Over time, repetition replaced verification. When people see the same narrative multiple times, it begins to feel true, even without evidence. One of the most powerful forces driving this story was audience participation. Viewers were not passive. They commented, stitched, reposted, and debated. Each interaction pushed the narrative further. The line between observer and contributor disappeared. Every opinion became part of the story's growth. Another critical factor was silence. None of the individuals involved provided a detailed public explanation. That silence created a vacuum, and the internet rushed to fill it. Silence was interpreted in every possible way: pain, confirmation, strategy, maturity. The truth is, silence means different things to different people, but online it is rarely allowed to remain neutral. Social media also blurred timelines. Events that may not have been connected were placed side by side to suggest causation. Timing became evidence. Optics became facts. Context was often ignored because it slowed down the narrative. In fast-moving digital spaces, speed matters more than accuracy. The story also revealed how emotionally invested audiences become in public figures. Many viewers projected their own experiences of heartbreak, abandonment, or disappointment onto the situation. This projection made the narrative feel personal. People were not just discussing celebrities, they were reliving their own moments through them. At the same time, backlash emerged. Some users called out the internet for overreaching. They warned against turning assumptions into accusations. Mental health advocates emphasized the harm of forcing people to explain emotions publicly. These voices added balance, but they struggled to compete with sensational content. Eventually, attention began to fade. New topics replaced old ones, algorithms shifted focus, but the impact remained. Once a narrative is created online, it leaves a digital footprint that does not disappear. Videos stay uploaded, opinions stay formed. Even when the conversation moves on, the story lingers. In the end, this situation was less about what actually happened and more about how stories are built in the digital age. It showed how quickly perception can become reality, how silence can be louder than words, and how social media often decides outcomes before truth has a chance to arrive. The final verdict was never delivered by the people involved. It was delivered by the internet, messy, emotional, divided, and confident in conclusions it could not fully prove. And that may be the most important lesson of all. Now it's your turn. Stories like this show how fast emotions, timing, and silence can turn into full-blown narratives online. Before choosing a side, remember that not everything trending is confirmed, and not every feeling shared publicly is an invitation for judgment. Do you think this situation was misunderstood and amplified by social media, or do you believe there's more happening behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, but keep it respectful. If you appreciate balanced breakdowns that separate reactions from facts, hit like thumbs up. Subscribe bell for updates if any real statements or confirmations come out. And share this video so others can see the full context, not just a headline. Online stories move fast, but understanding should always move first.